Thanks, Craig. Good afternoon. Welcome everybody to Birmingham. It's always exciting to be here. This doesn't get old. Whether I was a first-year coach at Tennessee or a fifth-year coach at Auburn, it's an exciting time of the year for coaches and players as we're really just trying to put it together. I myself still, no matter how many years I do it, truly don't know what I have until after the first several games, where you get exposed. You learn a lot about your team, and then how quickly can you retool it or improve it or hide it or do whatever it takes to try to become a good basketball team. So it's a very, very exciting time of the year, and we're looking forward to getting started.
We'll start with Bob Holt over there on the right.
Hey, Bob.
Not a lot of players last year. Looks like you got a deeper roster. What's that been like for you? What do you anticipate going from there?
I think our front line's deeper. I don't think the overall roster is that much deeper. I'm at 11 scholarship players right now, and Coach Summit kind of taught me a lesson back in the day. She had 15 and never used her last 3 or 4 scholarships because it was always difficult to keep, that many guys happy. And so it'll help us withstand some foul trouble and maybe some injury. I do anticipate our roster still playing fast. We may not be as small, we may not be as quick, we may not be the difficult matchup that we were a year ago, particularly with a guy like Deshaun Murray, who we did a lot with. But I still think our style of play will be similar.
We're here on the left front row. Coach Avery Johnson turned around both programs in the state of Alabama. How exciting is it? Both of you went to the NCAA tournament last year. Now this is, of course, football's a football crazy state, but everybody's also very excited about basketball. And the second question, who's going to be the guy in your mind right now that's going to be the blue guy that Deshaun Murray was a year ago?
Well, I think that I'm a big fan of history. I'm a big fan of Wim Sanderson's, a big fan of Sonny Smith, Cliff Ellis. And when those guys were going at it, basketball was really good in the state of Alabama. And I'd like to think that we've been able to both bring some more competitiveness to our programs at the same time, which I think is great for the state. I think it's great for the SEC, adding depth and breadth to our league. I'm not sure who that guy is going to be. I like our chemistry. I like the character of our team. Deshaun was such a tough matchup. He was such a tough kid, and his voice went a long way towards playing hard, playing unselfishly. But I think a lot of those guys share some of that in common. Certainly, Bryce Brown and Jared Harper, 2 of our best players, 2 of our more experienced players, and I would add probably Horace Spencer would be a guy in that would be. He saw the old man of our locker room. And he's a wonderful father. His son Avery's in our locker room a lot of times, and when Horace speaks, I think people listen. We respect him, and we admire him, and I think he'll keep our team together through the good, the bad, and the ugly of a season.
Next is with the TV teams in the back.
There's a lot of mutual respect between you and Coach Cal. He brings back some experience, which is kind of rare for a UK team. What are your thoughts on the dynamic of this year's team versus kind of what they normally bring to the table?
Well, I think what it means is they've got a chance to be better early, because Coach they had a summer trip this year, and he's got a little bit more experience coming back. Those 2 things, and then when you add in the kind of schedule that Kentucky plays, they play the best schedule in the country. They got a chance to really help themselves and the league because they're going to be a little bit more veteran of a team. Which teams can handle the adversity the best, I think, is going to be a team that's going to win this league. Last year when Kentucky left Auburn, they had lost a few games in a row. And I don't think Coach Calipari got nearly enough credit for keeping that team together. And they turned it around and really were playing some of the best basketball of anybody in the country that went on to win the SEC tournament. It's going to take that from all of us this year because we're going to lose games in our league. And I think a more veteran team, having been through it like they were a year ago, I think those are factors that contribute to the fact that they're picked to win the league again this year.
Center front row.
Coach, I know you said you
Well, I think that I think since I've left, they've had really good coaches. I mean, Donnie Tyndall was a terrific basketball coach. Had a great matchup defense and did really well. Conzo Martin is his teams play hard. They play physically. They play the right way. And then you add in now Rick Barnes. You're not getting older. You're getting better. I look at that with Coach Barnes. I mean, he was a guy that, as a young coach, we always admired how he could compete against Dean Smith when he was at Clemson or when he was at Providence. He was one of the better young coaches in the country. And then he goes to Texas and he has that long run of excellence. And then towards the end of his career, he gets to Tennessee, and you're wondering, what's left? What's left for him to accomplish? And all of a sudden, he reminds everybody what a great basketball coach he is, what a tough guy he is, how tough his teams play, and how they sort of taken on his personality a little bit. So, Tennessee basketball program is in great hands, and it was kind of we say we're SEC champions. I don't say we're co-champions, but we did have the same record as Tennessee, and so for me, it was kind of an honor to be able to share that title with them. Even though there will be nothing about co-champions up on our banner, it'll say champions.
Second row middle, Jared.
I'm wondering, Bruce, Austin Wiley and Gerald, what having them back.
I think Austin he is as big, as strong, as fast, and as mobile as any big guy in the country. He moves so well, and so therefore we won't be slowing down at all. We're going to rim run him. We're going to get him to the basket, and he's going to get touches on the inside. He's a tremendous screener. He's athletic. He'll protect the rim defensively. He'll rebound his position. And when he's not on the floor, Anthony McLemore will be on the floor a lot of times, and all of a sudden, rather than picking and ducking in, he'll pick and he'll pop. Rather than picking and rolling, he'll pick and step out. And so we'll have the inside game of Austin, the outside game of Anthony, and that'll be a nice combination. D'Angelo Purifoy has got as pretty a jump shot as there is in the league. He's 6'7", 6'8". He can guard multiple positions. He's a good passer. And, when we spread the floor for Jared Harper, there will be a lot of guys out there that can make shots. And that's never going to be any different for us. My teams have been known for small ball. We've been known for the three ball, for spreading it. We've been known to be able to shoot the three. If you look in the NBA right now, it's all dunks and threes. It's all spread, 4 and 5 out. We've been playing that way for a long time. That doesn't make me a better coach. It just says that what's working right now in basketball, I think, is stuff that we've been doing for a long time.
Okay, front row here on the left.
Coach, you talked last year about kind of an edge, that chip on the shoulder you guys had. Now we got to finish business this summer. How have you kind of seen that mindset evolve going this week?
Well, last year, look, you may be surprised to hear this, but last year wasn't just a one-season wonder. Auburn has got the best record in the non-conference in the SEC. That's I bet you didn't know that. And so I'm proud of the fact that what we're trying to do is we're trying to make history and keep it going. It's easier to get it going than it is to keep it going. So at the start of the SEC season, after another successful non-conference schedule, there were some experts that picked us 4-14. So it was pretty easy to walk into Thompson Bowling Arena and put 4 minutes and 14 seconds on the clock, put Auburn 4, Tennessee 14, and me have a T-shirt that says 4-14, because I thought we were better than that, even without D'Angelo Purifoy and Austin Wiley. So we played the chip on the shoulder thing. This year, our motto is unfinished business. And even though Bryce Brown and Jared Harper tested the waters, they only had one workout with the Atlanta Hawks. They were second-team all-conference players and only got one workout because they're both smaller guards. They still have a lot to prove. They've got unfinished business. Samir Dowdy, D'Angelo Purifoy, Austin Wiley didn't play last year. They have unfinished business. Chuma Okeke came off the bench last year. He's got unfinished business. Malik Dunbar wants to try to play a different role. So we have a team full of guys that I'm hoping are still humble and hungry and still feel like we got a lot to play for and a lot to prove.
Second row in the middle, 18.
Coach, what did Austin Wiley learn from feedback from the NBA?
I went out to Chicago, Washington play. I thought he played well. I thought there was a little rust on him, and in the sense that I think they were pleased with what they saw. They just hadn't laid eyes on him for a year, and so they were excited about watching him again and seeing him move and seeing his progress. And had Austin stayed in the draft, he probably goes in the middle of the second round. But he wanted to come back to Auburn. He wanted to make some history. He wanted to try to get some first round guarantees that was available to him. But I thought they really liked what they saw, just a little rusty.
Here in the left, third row.
Yeah, Bruce, McLemore's recovery obviously has been noted how great that is, and he's back. If we look back on
Could you say, I apologize?
McLemore's recovery, obviously has been noted. Coming from South Carolina, when you think back on that day, you think of Columbia personnel, USC staffers that did a job in getting that process going.
Yes.
And what do you kind of owe them, or frankly, they stayed in touch to make sure that
Well, there's no question. Thank you for bringing that up again. When Anthony Mackler went down with such a gruesome injury, it could be, certainly career threatening. And the professionalism, the expertise, the quality of the care in an emergency trauma situation at South Carolina and that athletic department and the people and the Colonial did was something that we recognized, we valued, we appreciated, we talked about it. Frank was on the floor, with me, dealing with Anthony, trying to get him to calm down. That's Frank Martin, And our trainer, Clark Pearson, was able to immediately get out there on the floor, and when, Anthony's leg is going north-south and his foot's going someplace southwest, take his foot and put it back into place, like immediately, so Anthony didn't have to actually get a look down his leg and see it dangling there. Really enabled him to be the beginning of a really, wonderful recovery. That happens to, somebody that's not a, world-class athlete and he doesn't recover, or he doesn't recover as well or as quickly. Anthony's back. He's 100%. Now, is he going to put himself in a rim protecting position like that and get elevated? You could see in practice there are times that just holding back just a little bit. I think when the lights come on and it's live, I think he's going to be terrific. But he's a real dimension now. This is a young man that was a 2-3 star, had very few offers had no Power 5 offers for sure. Going to go in the Ivy League, and chose Auburn because he felt like academically Auburn was special, and athletically had a chance to play at the highest level. Was the 9th man on his AAU team, and last year he was one of the best defenders in our league, and he was an elite 3-point shooter. And so he's going to be a real factor for us again this year. He reminds me of the kid Jordan Bell that plays for the Golden State Warriors. When I saw Bell in Oregon, I thought that Anthony could be that kind of player.
On the left side, Brandon.
Bruce, I was just wondering about an update on Austin Wiley, how long you guys expect him to be out, and what the exact injury is.
So Austin had a foot injury, and he's been out for about a week and a half now, and is probably going to be out for a couple more weeks. He's in a boot. He'll come out of the boot, I think, at the end of next week, and then we'll start to bring him back. It's my anticipation that, at some point early in the start of our season, he'll be 100%.
So he could potentially miss the season opener?
He could potentially miss the season opener, but there's also a chance he could be back for it.
Front row in the center.
Just what you saw from Tremont Waters last year.
Well, he was the key to our scouting report. He's a brilliant ball handler, playmaker. Make sure somebody else is going to get the last shot, because if he sees it, he's going to make it. Tremendous respect for him. Will Wade is one of the most challenging scouts you're going to go up against. He's got a brilliant offensive mind. That stuff is hard to guard. I think he does a great job putting his personnel in the right spots. LSU will be a team that'll make as much progress this year as anybody on a national level. They're talented, they're well coached, and they got a great point guard in Tremont Waters.
On the right side, second row, Bob.
I just wonder what you thought of Daniel Gafford. You faced him late in the year. It was a big deal. How big a deal is it for Ben Ferguson that he's back? And also, this is touched a lot of really good guards. As far as a backcourt, where do Harper and Brown fit in?
Well, I had a great backcourt in Tennessee, and C.J. Watson and Chris Lofton, and if those guys can be as good as those two, and they can, we got a great backcourt. They've got good chemistry together. Again, they both play with chips on their shoulders. I think as we went as Jared went, which is a lot like quarterback play, and Bryce Brown is even a little underrated because not only is he a great shooter, he's a great shot maker and scorer, but he's also one of the best on-ball defenders in our league. Jared's a great defender off the ball, communicating, getting us into the right spots. They're both really good. So, this is probably as good a backcourt as I've had. And then Gafford had a dominating game against us last year. We had nobody inside that can even, could hang with him. And we played at Arkansas late in the year last year. And so what a great stabilizing force for Mike with a very talented young team to be able to have one of the best big guys in the country to build around. So I think it'll be a real stabilizing force for them offensively and defensively.
Third row in the center.
Coach, remember, you mentioned your front line with Anthony and Austin. Since they do some different things down in the post, will we see them situationally on the floor together?
I don't think you'll see them out there together as much as you'll see them coming off the bench with each other. It's possible to play some together, but that's not the plan. Because I got Chuma Okeke and Horace Spencer that will play next to those guys. Chuma is, made a lot of progress in his freshman year, physically stronger, faster, quicker. He has got a real good feel for the game. I'd like for our team to recognize his talent and everybody do a little less so that Chuma can do a little bit more. And I think it'll make us a better team.
Any more questions? Thanks, Coach.
Good, thank you.